Hanzo was probably one of my most hated characters on Overwatch. And I'm not sure if he's a samurai or a ninja, but what I can tell you is that he says a really specific line when you shoot one of his sonic arrows. He says, "See, which is unseen," which is basically what I thought about Six Samurais. It was a very, very good deck way back in the day, and I wouldn't think that this deck would be this good until now. It's a very good counter to the meta. These cybernetic swordsmen on the cutting edge of technology. Okay, guys, I think you might get the point, and I hate to cut and run on this pun, but I don't want to get dull. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, then go ahead and destroy that subscribe button. But more importantly, use your sword to cut into that notification bell because, well, we just too strong. I want to give a shout out to all of my Patreons. You guys are nothing less of amazing, and if you guys want to support the channel, help us get more awesome stuff, better quality content for you guys, then go ahead and check it out below. We also have some more Patreons for you guys. I want to talk about my man's Alan. He is not necessarily a patron in the sense that he contributed to Patreon, but he really helped me out on getting some cards, and you are an honorary Patreon, so welcome to the group. Without further ado, I present to you a competitive Six Samurai deck for this format. Alright, so looking at the stats of the Samurai deck, it's pretty good. I want to focus really on this deck's power because the ability to summon a ton of negations to your side of the field and also having built-in card effects to stop the meta. Now in this profile, I'm not only going to Samurai's this deck, I'm going to show you guys some awesome test hands to back up this claim. I think that this deck can actually be a tier 2 type deck. I think it can win a regional level event, but without further ado, let's show you guys exactly what makes this deck so powerful. Starting off with the monsters, we run 2 copies of legendary Six Samurai Kizan. This card was extremely powerful back in its heyday, being able to provide a free Six Samurai monster to your side of the field for a legendary Six Samurai SHI-EN synchro play. Now, he provides the same thing, but with link plays. You don't need 3 copies of him anymore because not only is he extremely searchable, but he's also recursible. We're going to follow that up with 2 copies of legendary Six Samurai Kaigeki. This was the card I actually wanted to run more copies of because he's so good. When he is normal summon, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Six Samurai monster to your side of the field, so he instantly provides an ESOL play just off of summoning him and having another Six Samurai. That's actually the only Six Samurai monsters we play multiple copies of. From here on out, you guys are going to be getting a whole bunch of one-ups, and I'll be able to explain to you guys why. 1 copy of Kagemusha of the Six Samurai, not only can he make Great Shogun SHI-EN, he's also allows you to make Notoria Beast with a level 3 Earth Six Samurai. We actually combo that up with Elder of the Six Samurai because he is the level 3 Earth monster that you would be able to use to make Kagemusha, but you also, or to make Notoria Beast, but you can also use your other 3s to just make your legendary Six Samurai SHI-EN. 1 copy of Jinba. Literally, this is probably the weakest Six Samurai of the deck because it requires himself to be normal summoned for you to gain its effect, and you want to reserve your normal summons for your Kaigekis, but when he is normal summoned, he basically allows you to tutor your banished Six Samurai monsters to your hand. So he's really good because he allows you to banish your other Six Samurais you might need, cough cough looking at you Kizan, and still allow you to recurse them back to your hand. He's also a tuner monster, so he's good for those synchro summon plays. 1 copy of Kizaru. Kizaru is extremely good when it is special summoned. You can add a Six Samurai monster from your deck to your hand that isn't the attribute, so you want to run as many attributes as possible to be able to maximize him and always be able to add a Six Samurai, and you only need 1 because once you get off this effect once or twice, you pretty much go through your Six Samurai monsters. 1 copy of Secret of Six Samurai Fuma. This is a really good ESOL target because you only have to send 1 equipped spell card to the graveyard, and it's also a level 1 tuner monster, so it can fulfill the needs of making synchro or a synchro 5, which would be legendary Six Samurai SHI-EN, with ease. 1 copy of Secret Six Samurai Hatsume. This card is also extremely powerful, banishing 2 Six Samurai monsters from your field or graveyard. Keep in mind that he can banish Six Samurai monsters from the field. You might actually need that. 2 special summon other Six Samurai monsters from your graveyard. Now, as you're special summoning Kizaru, you can trigger its effect to gain an additional search. Now you're gonna follow up with 1 copy of Legendary 6 Samurai Mizuho, and then 1 copy of Legendary 6 Samurai Shinai. Now these cards work in combination. When one of these monsters on the field, you can special summon the other to your side of the field just by controlling that monster. It's really good. Just the fact that it can allow you to extend plays, it's a free rank 3 play, and does so many great things for you. Now I refuse to shave more samurai monsters off the list. They must stay bushy. Get it? Because the bushi coat. Okay, that is it for the samurai monsters. I think it's maybe 13 6 samurai monsters, and I wouldn't change a single one because they all work so well in harmony with one another. We do run some SHI-EN monsters. We won 1 copy of SHI-EN Squire. I actually late game testing, I cut the Fuma for a SHI-EN Squire because it is a level 1 Earth Tuner monster that can be special summoned pretty easily to your side of the field. So it's another way to make an Naturia beast, and it also fulfills the specifics of being a warrior and a tuner monster. And then lastly, 1 copy of Great Shogun SHI-EN. I wonder why they call him a Shogun when he's really a show sword. Get it? Because okay. Anyways, when this monster is on your field, it is almost a win condition against decks like Sky Striker, because your opponent can only activate 1 spell or trap card per turn, and if they activate one of the cards that just happens to be Afterburner, you can destroy another 6 samurai monster you control instead. So it puts them in a really bad position where they can only use 1 spell, meaning that they can't dig deeper into their deck. For the hand traps, we play 2 copies of Droll Lock. This card is starting to become better and better every tournament that just comes out, because a lot of decks tend to search. So if you can Droll Lock your opponent's Sky Strikers, Gokis, or whatever deck, you probably can end their turn right there. And then 2 copies of Ash Blossom, almost for the same reason as Droll Lock. You don't want to play, or at least I don't want to maximize 3 of each, because I don't want to see multiple copies inside of my hand. So that's pretty much it for the monsters at what I believe is 18. On to the spells. The monsters are really busted. Being able to put multiple 6 samurai monsters on your board just off the monsters is really good. It's extraordinarily good. But the spell cards make the deck that much more better, or that much better. It allows you to put your monster boards over the top. Let's start talking about them. The main thing you want to do is keep Bushido counters on your monsters or on your spell cards, and then be able to abuse them later on. 3 copies of 6 Samurai United. This card keeps the deck together. Get it? 6 Samurai United, it keeps the deck together. Each time a 6 Samurai monster is normal summon or special summon, you can place 1 Bushido counter on this card and then draw cards off of the number of Bushido counters on this card. Now it is a maximum of 2, but essentially this card is a pot of greed to the deck, allowing you to dig deeper into your strategy. Next is 3 copies of SHI-EN's Dojo. You want to see, you want to be SHI-EN this card as much as possible. Get it? SHI-EN. Basically, it almost does the exact same thing as Dojo, except it doesn't have a restriction. For every time a 6 Samurai monster is normal summon or special summon, you can place 1 counter on this card, and then you can send it to the graveyard to special summon 1 6 Samurai or SHI-EN monster from your deck to your side of the field that is a level equal to or less the number of counters. Now these cards are extremely important, and the reason why is because not only do they have awesome effects and allow you to extend their combos, but they really combo well with Gateway of the 6. Now if you guys can literally get this card in any combination of these 2 cards, you'll be able to search whatever you want. You can make some stupid, insane boards. You can say that Gateway is the gateway to hell. I mean, well, it's the gateway drug. Look, if you draw this card, you're probably gonna win. I'm just saying, there's not too many games where I draw this card and lose. Like, it's that powerful, unless it gets ghost ogred or something, or destroyed in some fashion, but literally you're going to win. Next, since this deck is one of the most searchable warrior decks, we actually want to play those cards to search into those other cards. So 3 copies of SHI-EN Smoke Signal, reinforcement of the army of the deck, and then we combo it up with 1 copy of reinforcement of the army itself. We want to be able to search into that low monster count and then start abusing that count as fast as possible, and these cards help a lot. And actually, when you start making your Sayuja plays, you can start putting your 6 Samurai monsters back into the bottom of your deck, because these cards will still become live because we do run such a low monster count and they do all search each other really well. So that's something that I found out about this deck. That's it for the searcher cards. Now for the equip spells, 3 copies of Cursed Bamboo Sword, 3 copies of Golden Bamboo Sword, and 2 copies of Broken Bamboo Sword. Now look, this card has, or these cards in the Six Samurai have no correlation between each other. It is pure coincidence. But if you guys want to take a stab at while I play them, they help me slice my deck into smaller parts. Get it? Stab, slice, smaller parts. Look, even the wooden one does it, okay? Don't try to ruin my pun. But essentially this card is really, or these cards are really powerful because Isolde is a card, and it allows you to essentially dig through your deck and also draw into the cards that you need. Drawing into Gateway is extremely important, or drawing into your spell and trap cards or your spell cards that allow you to put Bushido counters on your side of the field is also important as well. Lastly, we play 1 copy of Sword of Deep-Seated. This card is awesome, but I know you guys, I mean, I guess you guys can say it's knife to know y'all, but it goes right back into the deck. I mean, I'm sorry, that was really funny. But this card literally, it says that I'll always be able to send at least 1 equipped spell card to the deck, to the graveyard. And I'll always, or if I draw this card, I can just put it back into my deck and I'll be able to send 3. So it's the best equipped spell card, in my opinion, for this particular deck, because it always goes back into the deck. So I can always continuously spell summon warrior monsters to my side of the field. That's it for that. And then lastly, 1 copy of Soul Charge and 1 copy of Monster Reborn. Card's just really nasty. It's I don't really even know what to say about this other than this card is just, these 2 cards are awesome for the deck. They're just combo extenders. They make you go off. So that's it for the main deck. Now, people are probably wondering, why don't I run Asceticism? I do have enough targets for Asceticism, and if I change it up, all my cards can be Asceticism targets. What I've noticed about Asceticism, let me show you this card right now, is basically it does help summon other monsters, but it doesn't really do anything. Like, it just brings other monsters to my side of the field, and most of those monsters can already be summoned off of Isolde and other card effects. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad card, but when it came down to cutting cards to help add consistency, this was the first card to go. Now, there is a couple of other Six Samurai cards. Most of them are not good, just flat out. The ones that you guys are probably thinking, like Cunning of the Six Samurai, the other Cunning of the Six Samurai, they're just not good. There's not really any way around them. They're neg 1s. They don't do anything too helpful for the strategy. For the extra deck, 2 copies of Legendary Six Samurai SHI-EN. Man, I'm telling you, this is another card you want to be SHI-EN a lot to your side of the field, because he allows you to negate your opponent's spells and trap cards, and then he also protects himself. 1 copy of Notoria Beast, another card that is just a win condition against a lot of opponents because they're so spell reliant. That's it for the Synchro monsters, sadly. For the Exceeds, 1 copy of X-Saber Invoker. This card allows you to special summon Kizaru to your side of the field as fast as possible, and that's it for the Exceed monsters. That's pretty, I'm not gonna say it's pitiful, but it's pretty simple that, you know, they went down. You only play these cards because they allow you to extend your plays, and you want to end your board in some combination of those cards. On to the Link monsters, because that's what this deck does really well. Can't wait for a Six Samurai Link. 2 copy of Saryuja Skull Dread. You don't have to play 2 copies of this card. For the people that can't afford the Saryujas, you probably just need 1 copy. That's what you really need. And then for the hand traps, Ghost Ogres and Effect Veilers will also do. But you really only need 1 copy. 2 copy is just, it's not overkill, but allows you to draw so much deeper. Firewall Dragon is pretty mandatory for being able to set up those boards. Borlo Bragan is the best Link 4 in the game, being able to snatch your opponent's monsters and then be untargetable. Nightmare Griffin is a card you guys can cut, but the card that I really want to talk to you guys about is Summon Sorceress. Now, I haven't gotten around to a lot of combos with this card, but in theory, just looking at this card and reading its effects, it's just really busted inside this deck. I actually kept it out for you European players, but you might want to cut the Nightmare Griffin or Nightmare Unicorn or Saryuja for that card. Nightmare Unicorn is just a generic, really good rank 3 or link 3. Trigate Wizard, because yes, you can make boards where you lock your opponent out. Only 1 copy of Isolde. You can't play 2 copies of Isolde, and I did give you guys some pretty good options and gave you guys a way to actually continuously activate Isolde. So it's really good. It's your starter card. 1 copy of Nightmare Goblin, 1 copy of Nightmare Cerebus, and 1 copy of Nightmare Griffin. Goblin is more important than you guys think, because that additional normal summon allows you to combo off with your Kaigekis and other cards again. That's it for the extra deck. Let me show you guys the sideboard, and then we can get you to those test hands. For the sideboard, I actually wanted to run 1 Notoria Beast, but I decided against it because Altergeist are in a little bit of the decline. You can always still play the Notoria Beast if you guys want to. So the third Droll Unlocker Effect Veiler and the third Ghost Ogre or Ash Blossom, depending on what you guys can afford. Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion can be easily substituted for, what's that card called? Skullmeister. That's not a bad card for the deck. Doesn't necessarily do the exact same thing as Ghost Bell, but Skullmeister does have its implications to the format. Or you guys can just run Mistaken Arrest. That's also a really good card. It doesn't necessarily do what Ghost Bell does. There really isn't a lot of cards that do what Ghost Bell does, but those are some really good other sideboard options. Or you can run in that Notoria Barkion. Damn, she thick. All right, get back to the video, TheCaliEffect. 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclones. Really good for back row destruction. I didn't want to run Twin Twisters because I didn't want to have to discard cards from my hand to the graveyard. And mainly because you need those cards. Why? Just leave so I can finish this video, mama. Come on, you thick. 2 copies of Called by the Grave. This card allows you to stop your opponent's hand traps, to allow you to go off. 3 copies of Shared Ride. This card is just really awesome. Good against Sky Strikers, allows you to recur your resources. And again, if you don't have these cards, you might want to get some. Gold rares are $4. And then lastly is 3 copies of Evenly Matched. If you guys cannot afford to evenly match, then the Kaijus. Now, let me finish taking a look at this thick mama that's just taking her time. Oh, she's working on her car. I might need to help her. I'll be right back with them test hands. Y'all ain't even gonna notice me gone. Excuse me? Hey, all right. My wife doesn't watch my videos, at least hopefully. So let's keep it between us two guys, or us guys, you know what I mean? Sometimes guys don't really like to, you know, we just like to be perverts. I don't even know why. I'm just a pervert for no reason. I mean, she was a neighbor and I helped out a neighbor, right? Okay, look, all right, look. If you guys keep this between us, which I know you guys will because you guys are awesome subscribers, then you guys can post down below in the comment section about how bad this Six Samurai deck profile is and how much you hate me and how much of an N-word I am, and I might not delete the comments. Or you can just post down below what works for you. That would be awesome as well. So going into the test hands. All right, so for our first test hand, sorry, my camera just, oh my God, I really dislike this camera. For our first test hand, we're going to open Great Shogun Shin, Kizan, Mizuho, Dojo, and United. Now, look, I'm going to tell you guys right now, if we're playing against Sky Striker, I legitimately feel I can go normal summon, and win. Literally, I don't think that they can do much to out that. But since we did draw 2 extenders, we can go into some pretty deep combos. We're going to activate both Dojo and United. I'm going to normal summon the Mizuho. I'm going to special summon the Kizan. That's going to put 2 counters on each of them. 2 and 2. I don't have any other way to add Dojo, so I'm going to actually use United right now to draw another United and a Cursed Bamboo Sword, and that actually lets me know that I'm in a pretty good position. I'm going to go ahead and activate the United, and then we can special summon the Great Shogun Shin to our side of the field. No counters will be added since Great Shogun Shin is not a Six Samurai monster, but we can use both of these monsters for our E-Soul. And then E-Soul will be able to add a warrior monster from our deck to our hand. I typically add the Jimba because right now Jimba is probably the most dead card out of all of them. And then we're going to use E-Soul's effect. With that, we're going to send a Cursed Bamboo Sword. I wish I could put a third Six Samurai monster in the graveyard. A Broken Bamboo Sword. I probably can, if actually I could. And Sword of Deep-Seated to the graveyard. Sword of Deep-Seated would obviously trigger. But we're going to worry about that later. I'm going to special summon Hatsume to my side of the field. Now I'm going to put Sword of Deep-Seated as Chain Link 2. Not only to skip or to dodge the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, but also so I am able to shuffle the card so the top card isn't my Sword of Deep-Seated. I'm going to add Golden Bamboo Sword from my deck to my hand. Now, a lot of people would activate the Cursed Bamboo Sword, equip it to a monster, and then link it off just so they don't draw the Broken Bamboo Sword. That's not a bad idea. I probably could have done that. Actually, I know I could have done that. And life would have been, I guess the quality of life would have been a little bit better. But I don't have any intentions on drawing the Bamboo Sword because it is a one-of. So activating Golden Bamboo Sword, we're going to draw Monster Reborn. And the Broken Bamboo Sword. I am really triggered. Huh, well, I guess I should have done it. But actually, I'm sorry, we have to activate Cursed Bamboo Sword. I am pretty triggered to drawing the Broken Bamboo Sword, but there's still ways around that. We still have quite a bit of ways to get our cards off. So next, I'm going to activate Monster Reborn, I'm going to go ahead and special summon Mizuho. So that's going to place another counter on both of these cards. That's for the draw 2, and that's for the special summon. And then I'm going to use... I have to use Dojo's effect. I think that's like a mandatory right now. Dojo can special summon a level 3 to my side of the field. That's perfect. I'm actually going to use Dojo's effect right now. Actually, no. We're going to use... my apologies. We can use that United again to draw 2 more cards. We're not in a rush. We're going to draw Squire and Kizan. So we did draw SHI-EN Squire. That's a card that I don't necessarily want to draw, but we can also always Nightmare Link it off. So the Cursed Bamboo Sword is equipped to the Hatsume. We can use both of... Actually, no, we're not going to use that. We're just going to go ahead and use the Dojo as I originally intended to. That'll special summon the Kagamusha to my side of the field. Next, I'm going to use the Mizuho and the Kagamusha for a Synchro Summon of our first SHI-EN. Then I'm going to use Hatsume's effect. We're going to banish the Mizuho and the Kizan to special summon the Kagamusha to our side of the field. Oh, no, that doesn't work yet. Then we're going to use these 2 monsters for a Synchro Summon of our second SHI-EN. So now our board is 2 SHI-ENs. Cursed Bamboo goes to the graveyard, so it's kind of good that we drew the Broken Bamboo Sword, because now we have Golden Bamboo Sword to our hand. And our ending board looks pretty nice. If we draw another... no, I guess that wouldn't work. But we're going to activate Broken Bamboo Sword, then Golden. If we draw a hand trap, that'd be perfect. We draw a Smoke Signal and a Droll and Lock Bird. That's pretty good for the first test hand. To have 5 cards in our hand, 2 Six Samurai SHI-ENs, Isolde, and Great Shogun SHI-EN. This is the type of stuff that I'm talking about when I say that this deck is good. I'm going to show you guys another test hand. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get you one more test hand, mainly because I'm really pressed for time right now. I'm trying to keep it under the 30-minute mark and still give you guys the test hands, at least 2, so I can put that S after it. So opening up with our first hand, we're going to get Shinai, Mizuho, Kaigeki, Fuma, and a Soul Charge. So this is going to be really interesting. This hand is, we didn't get any extenders other than Soul Charge, but Soul Charges might be the only extender we need. I'm going to go ahead and start off with normal summoning Kaigeki. Kaigeki's effect is special summon Mizuho. And then I'm going to go ahead and special summon the Shinai to my side of the field. Now, anytime you can start off with 3 Six Samurai monsters, you're in a really, really good spot. I'm then going to go ahead and use Kaigeki and Shinai for a Link Summon. Ah, crap. And those 2 monsters are going to go ahead and make Isolde. Now, Isolde is going to trigger its effect, and I'm going to add a warrior monster from my deck to my hand. This time, I'm going to go ahead and add Great Shogun SHI-EN. You guys don't, I really don't want to use that card. Actually, if I want to take this back, if you guys allow me to go back, I'm not even going to summon Isolde right now. What am I thinking, TheCaliEffect? What I'm going to do is first use Kaigeki and Mizuho, or Kaigeki and Shinai for a Link, or for an Exceed summon. That would be even better, because we're going to go ahead and summon MX Saber Invoker. No, we're going to use these 2. We want that. We're going to use the Invoker, and then Invoker to detach the Mizuho to special summon a monster to our side of the field known as Kizaru. Now, Kizaru's effect is going to trigger. That's going to add Jimba to my side of the field, or to my hand. And then I'm going to use both the MX Saber Invoker and the Shinai, or in the Kizaru, my apologies, as a Link summon for Isolde. Now, Isolde effect is going to trigger, and that's going to add Great Shogun SHI-EN from our decks to our hand, and that's how you want to do it, because now I have more Six Samurai monsters in my graveyard to work with, especially when I want to go into my Soul Charge play. Next, I'm going to use Isolde's effect to send Cursed Bamboo Sword, Broken Bamboo Sword, and of course Sword of Deep Seated from my deck to the graveyard. And then that's going to go ahead and special summon Hatsume to my side of the field. Now, we don't have any extenders right here and right now other than the Soul Charge, so we want to be able to load our graveyard up as much as possible, getting the cards that we need into the graveyard. I'm going to show you guys how we're going to do that. Instead of, Cursed Bamboo Sword, Sword of Deep Seated, Chain Link 2. So that's to the deck, that's to the hand. Next, I'm going to use both the Hatsume and the Shinai for a Link Summon. Actually, should I use it for the link summon just yet? There's one monster I'd have to sacrifice if I do it that way. If I use Hatsume's effect to banish the Mizuho. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to banish the Mizuho, and I'm going to banish the Kaigeki. With that, I'm going to special summon the Kizaru back to my side of the field. Its effect is going to trigger. I don't think I'll have any targets. I can't think of a... I have to add a win monster from my deck to my hand. Oh, I have Kaigeki. Kaigeki's a win. I'm going to go ahead and add Kaigeki from my deck to my hand. Yeah, we're setting up for a pretty nice combo. Next, I'm going to use these two monsters for a link summon. And that's going to go ahead and make Nightmare Goblin to my side of the field. I'm going to use Goblin's effect. I'm going to pitch the Goblin, or the Fuma with the Goblin. And now I have an additional normal summon. I want to use that to actually summon Jimba and not Kaigeki. Jimba's effect is going to trigger. I'm going to add the Mizuho. Then I'm going to special summon the Mizuho to my side of the field. Next, I'm going to use both of these monsters for a Synchro summon. That's going to be my first Great Shogun SHI-EN. Then I'm going to use, I can use that for a Link 3. I can make Tri-Gate Wizard, but that's not going to do anything. I could also use this right here and use these two for a Summon Sorceress. And then Summon Sorceress to special summon another monster to my side of the field. What do I have engraved? Can I make it? Oh, no Earth Tuner. Getting that Earth Tuner to the graveyard, I swear, is like impossible. I'd have to summon it right now. But do I have an Earth monster to even like combo off with it? Yes, I have the Kizaru. So does the Summon Sorceress have to be to where I point to? Nope. So I can't even do that. Because the Nightmare Goblin will now have to be off the field in order for that to go down. So we're just going to go ahead and put the Summon Sorceress over here. Do I have a way to summon another warrior monster? I do not. So no, the Summon Sorceress can't go into effect right now. That would have been really nice to get off with our Summon Sorceress combo. But still, we can make something over here. Nothing that I can think of off the top of my head, but definitely something. I probably could have did that a little bit different and still had the combos that I needed. I'm going to use these two for a link summon. And I'm going to link summon for them into either Nightmare Unicorn, because yeah, it has to be Nightmare Unicorn. Next, I'm going to go ahead and Soul Charge to my side of the field. I'm going to Soul Charge for 3. 2 of those monsters are just going to go ahead and get me right into the second Great Shogun SHI-EN. And then the third monster is actually going to get me into a different monster. So after I Soul Charge for 3. Actually, I don't even think I can make that monster. I'm going to use these two monsters. I could. It's going to be really tricky how I do it, though. So these two monsters have to make another Link 3. I think if I'm doing it correctly. Because I want Nightmare Griffin right here, but I want my monsters to point to the Nightmare Griffin. Again, like I said, as you guys can see, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap up this board. I'm going to use these two for the Great Shogun SHI-EN. I can still go off. As you guys can see, I could have made the Saryuja. I could still do so many more combos, but I'm going to leave it at that since we're pressed for time. And if I use this for the Nightmare Goblin, it's not pointing to... Oh, wait, but it's linked. Duh. It's still linked. So never mind. I can still do it. And that's how we would do that. It would be still pretty much good because this is linked to the Isolde, so I'll still be able to negate an opponent's card effect. And that's how you would set up with that board. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's get this video to 200 likes, and we'll see about getting you guys a dual video. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys really, really enjoyed what you saw. It was fun to play this deck.